you guys? Caleb from Rokblokz. Today up on the lift we have a 2021 STI. The kit that we're going to install is our 15 Plus STI, so let's go ahead and jump right into that install. Here we have the tools laid out for the install. What you're going to need is a level, a flathead screwdriver, or an insert puller of some sorts. We're going to use various different Phillips head screwdrivers. This one's available on our website. And then we're going to have just a light mallet, so that way we can tap a few of the inserts in just gently. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get to it. Here we have the front laid out. What you're going to get for your install. For each corner, you'll get the flap for that corner. For the front, you'll get 4 nylon clips, 4 1.25" washers, 4 1-inch screws, an 1.5" screw, a 10mm spacer, a metal clip, a small washer, and an L bracket. Here we are at the front of the vehicle. What we're going to do is just remove the OEM or factory inserts from here, 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 and then there's one underneath down here. Once we get those out of the way, we'll gain access behind the liner, place our new clips, replace the liner, and then we'll begin mounting. So let's go ahead and get those off. These are just kind of a quarter turn one. If they start spinning with your thing, or with your screwdriver, just kind of hold them a bit and lightly pry. They'll pop out and come out nice and easy. Alright, now that we have all 4 of those out, we're just going to grab the liner and kind of pull it out of the way, like so. Let it hang out there for a second. Go ahead and grab our nylon clips, our 4 nylon clips that are provided in the kit. Our first one is going to go down on the metal, down here on the bottom. We're going to have that so that the extruded portion is facing inside or upwards, and then on the rest of these they're just going to be facing towards the back. So we'll just line up all those holes. Alright, those all in place, we're going to go ahead and put the liner back in its original place just by tucking it back down in, like so. Now we're going to take our L bracket and our small metal clip, and we're just going to prep that on one of the sides. It's easier to kind of slide it from the side and over, because it has this little divot right here that helps lock it in place. So go ahead, get that slidden from the side. And now this, we're going to mount to the bottom hole using a 1-inch screw and a bracket with a small washer. So with this bracket, we're actually going to place it in between this skirt and the liner, lining up the hole from the bottom, and then the screw is going to go through the skirt, through the bracket, into the insert. Get that snug but not all the way tight. We'll come back and tighten that fully after we get the flap into it. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and prep our remaining screws with washers, just to have those ready. Alright, now we're going to take the longer screw with the 7.5mm spacer, and we're going to put it through this middle hole right here, and that's going to line up with the recessed hole right next to the skirt. Now for the remaining 3 holes, we're just going to take our 1-inch screws with washers and go into all of the inserts that are left. Now that we've got those halfway started and slightly snug, we'll go ahead, take our level, and set the adjustment on our flap. You should still be able to move the flap in and out. You should have a little bit of friction, but not a whole lot, just so you can get it into the right position and it will stay there. Like it right there. So we're just going to go ahead, tighten all these down now. With those fully tightened down, that's how you install the front. You can repeat those same steps for the other side. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the rear. Here we have the rear flap laid out. What you'll get for the rear per side is you'll get the flap for that corner. You'll get 4 1.25-inch washers, 4 1-inch screws, 2 press inserts, 1 1.5-inch screw, an L bracket, a square insert, a 10mm spacer, a metal clip, and a nylon clip. Now we're at the rear of the vehicle. What we're going to do is prep it by removing the 2 OEM inserts inside the wheel well here. This will be a lot easier if you're able to get it up on jack stands and take your rear wheel off. So let's go ahead and get those removed. With the 2 OEM inserts removed, we're going to go ahead and replace them with our large inserts provided in the kit. Go ahead, and they're pretty snug. If you want, you can take a knife and just lightly shave the outside. You can do this with a razor blade, or I'm just using my pocket knife. It'll just kind of help make it a little bit smaller. They are a tight insert. We do want a tight fit to keep them from spinning. There we go. That makes that a lot easier. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our square insert and put it in the bottom hole right down here. All right. Now that that's in place, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take our L bracket and we're going to prep it with a short metal clip and align that with the hole. Alright, put that on there. You're going to want to take that face and press it down against the ground or a stable surface and gently add some angle to the bracket so that it angles backwards when installed. That's going to help it flow along with the fender's edge here. You want to take a slightly angle back in so that way it's no longer a 90 degree. Now that we've got that bent into the shape that we want, we're going to go ahead and take our 1-inch screw, put it through the bracket. Now we're going to screw that into that nylon square insert here on the bottom. Alright, and we're going to leave that just a little bit loose, and we'll come back to that when we get the flap installed. Now the last mounting point, we're just going to go ahead and take our nylon clip and slide it right over this hole right here. Just putting that in place and aligning the hole in the clip with the hole in the bumper. So now that we've got all our mounting hardware in place, we're going to start by mounting with this inner point right here that's going to get the longer screw and spacer. So let's go ahead, grab our flap, and get to mounting. Right now we have that on that middle point. We're going to go ahead and put our spacer there on that. We're just going to hand start into that insert right here. Pull that flap in place while we grab our other screws. You grab our 3 other 1-inch screws with washers. And we're going to use one of these at each of the remaining locations. With the inserts, you want to put a lot of inward pressure on them to help keep them from spinning. If you do have any issues with them spinning in place, to get the screw started and set, if you use a drill and have it going with that pressure, it'll help it catch and expand quicker, but you don't want to fully tighten them down with the drill as it will strip the inserts out. So you can use them to get them started and expanded, but make sure you do your final tightening with a hand tool. And with those all slightly snug in place, we'll make our adjustments in and out, set our angle, grab our level, double check, make sure it's set to where we want it. And once we find the position that we want, we'll go ahead, lock these all down. Alright, now that we've got those all the way tightened up, that's how you install the rear. You can repeat those same steps for the other side.